that's the reason why I dove headfirst deep into the dark world of procrastination.
I found the reason why I and you procrastinate. And no, it's not because we are lazy.
Hey guys, what's up? So about a week or 2 weeks back, I had published this video which I was working on for a week prior to that. So I gave a lot of effort into that video, and honestly I believe that it was one of my best videos ever. After uploading it, I felt like amazing, like I worked so hard on this video and I was really proud of it, and I deserved a break. So I said, I'm going to take the weekend off, not going to think about YouTube, not going to think about my next video, nothing. I'm just going to enjoy the weekend, and then when Monday comes, I can get back to YouTube. So that entire weekend, I just ended up having a good time. I went out with my friends, I partied, I played games, I did a lot of stuff, and I think Sunday night, I came home very late and I went to sleep at about 4 a.m. Now, obviously, going to sleep at 4 a.m., your Monday is going to get ruined, and mine did get ruined. And I told myself that, I'm going to take Monday off and I'm going to just use Monday to rejuvenate and refresh myself so that I can get back to my next video with a fresh and clear mind. And so with that in mind, I just closed my eyes on Monday, and when I opened my eyes, it was already 2 weeks later. I literally spent 2 weeks procrastinating just because of that one weekend. Or was it because of that one weekend? Why the hell is it so easy to procrastinate when it leaves you feeling so crappy? Like, I wanted an excuse, I needed an excuse, I couldn't believe that this is my fault. And that's the reason why I dove headfirst deep into the dark world of procrastination.
So after spending good amount of time researching this, I think I found the reason why I and you procrastinate. And no, it's not because we are lazy. It has to do with our biology. Now I'll try to keep this as simple as possible and as short as possible. But before that, we need to understand what is the definition of procrastination. So science explains procrastination as the fight spark between two parts of our brain. And those two parts are the limbic system that you can see over here and the prefrontal cortex.
So says your prefrontal cortex. But meanwhile, the limbic system of your brain is calculating that if another woman is attracted to Leonard, it must be because he's desirable.
Now, the limbic system includes the pleasure center, and the prefrontal cortex, in simple terms, is our decision-making part of the brain. So procrastination is when the limbic system wins over the prefrontal cortex. Now, an important part of the limbic system that we need to remember is amygdala. Now, I know this is sounding like it's getting a bit complicated, but that's it. That's like the basic science part that you need to understand. Now, the amygdala, a small part of the limbic system, is said to be what's important for developing and generating the neural impulses related to fear and fear behavior. And there is some research to show that in chronic procrastinators, the amygdala activity is actually higher, which means that their sensitivity to fear or anything stressful is higher, and that's a high likelihood why we end up procrastinating to avoid that fear. And the second biological reason we procrastinate is something called as temporal thinking. Now, we use temporal thinking to perceive our future self, and there is some research that shows that we perceive our future self as a stranger. Now, this makes absolute sense as to why we would procrastinate. Wouldn't you take the opportunity, if given, to pawn off some of your work to a stranger? That's the same reason we procrastinate, because we perceive our future self as a stranger who we can pawn off our work to. And that's the reason why we don't see any importance of doing it now, because our future self will do it. I mean, they are a stranger, we have no attachment to them.
You know what you should do? Just toss them in the shredder and claim you never got them.
Now, these are biological reasons which make us prone to procrastinating. But that's not the only reasons we procrastinate. We can procrastinate if the task we see that we're about to do is like too much for us to handle, or if we are not interested in that task, or if we experience something as imposter syndrome. Now I think I procrastinate because I experience imposter syndrome, because 2 weeks back when I created that video, I told myself that this is the best video I had ever done, and to follow up with a better video after that was honestly very scary for me. It gave me imposter syndrome, like what if this was a fluke, what if this was a one-time thing. Dearest Casey Neistat, but now that we've understood that there are biological and psychological factors which cause us to procrastinate, we can actually take some steps to improve or to better ourselves so that we do not procrastinate. Now I'm not saying these are some cheat codes or these are some easy things. This is going to be hard and it requires effort. But now that we understand the process that leads to that procrastination, the tips that I'm about to give y'all will be much more beneficial.
Now if you go online and you search for ways to overcome procrastination and just get the work done, you'll find a lot. Like in this video I was thinking of putting 5 ways, but you know what, I said let's just keep it simple. Let's just stick to 3, the 3 that I find the most effective, that helps me get over procrastination, and it can definitely help you and make things easier for you. So let's just get into those 3. Now if you've been following me for a while, you will not be surprised by the first point, and the first point is self-awareness. I want you to be self-aware when you procrastinate, and when you're feeling like you're procrastinating to some assignment, be self-aware as to what is the goal of this assignment, what am I trying to achieve, how will that goal help me, or how will it help the company I'm working for, whatever it may be. Try to understand the reasons behind why you have to do it, and also try to understand the fallbacks and the problems of not actually doing the assignment and procrastinating. Once you can see the value it will bring and the other side, the negative effects it will bring if you do not do it, then the chances that you're going to do it to get the positive effects and experience that pleasure which your limbic system is trying to induce right now through procrastination, then this pleasure can be a bigger motivator which can help you just get to work. Now, do you remember I told you about the amygdala, the center which makes you experience the negative feelings and which induces fear, and the limbic system which wins over the prefrontal cortex, and that's why you procrastinate? Well, the next point can actually help you directly with that. So the next point is mindfulness and meditation, and there is evidence to show that when you meditate, the activity in the amygdala, the part which induces all these negative emotions and fear inducing, and the limbic system actually decreases, and the prefrontal cortex activity actually increases. That means this time your planner part of the brain can actually win over the pleasure centers that seek that initial and immediate pleasure. So that way you can actually end up tackling the biological way which causes procrastination. So that's why mindfulness and meditation is very beneficial. I found it very beneficial for me in my life. Like before these 2 weeks, I was meditating on a daily basis, but during this week, that week after which I was procrastinating, I realized I was not meditating and my headspace was not in a good place. So I just started meditating a bit more, and the procrastination and all those negative emotions slowly but surely started to fade away. Now the last point of advice I'm going to give you is actually opposite to what people usually say. So people usually say that you start with the hardest task first and you get it out of the way, and then you have all the easy tasks left, and so you'll feel motivated to do the easy task. But I found it actually beneficial when I tackle the easy task first, or at least some of the easy tasks first. Let me give you an example of when I work out. Sometimes, some days, I just do not feel like working out at all. And so what I do in those days is I go and I start doing a deadlift. Why? Because deadlift is my favorite exercise, and it's the easiest exercise that I find, and it activates my entire body. So I just go and I start doing one set of deadlift. I just say, you know what, okay fine, I want to work out, I'll just do one set of deadlift. But then I always, most of the time at least, end up just going for the next exercise, and I just end up working out. Like my most killer and most productive workouts have actually come after I was not feeling like working out and just started doing the deadlift. And so I found that, starting it with an easy task and actually accomplishing this can send messages to your brain like, wow, I completed one task, now I'll just move on to the next task. And that gives you a positive reinforcement, and positive reinforcement can be so powerful. And that's why I start with the easy task and I accomplish it, and then I'm able to proceed and go higher and higher. That's what I found beneficial for me, and you might find it beneficial for you as well. I spent a lot of effort on this video. Maybe it's Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the weekend off and just go. Let me see what my buddies are up to.